I have a lot of mixed feelings right now. I'm a romance author and I finished the first draft of my third book last night. I'm not going to be cryptic about what this book is. It already has a title. It's called You've Got Chainmail and it's coming out on the 15th of August. It's a rom-com with some fantasy and gaming elements to it, and it's quite different than my first two books, which are right here, The Summer House in Santorini and The Summer Wedding in Santorini. Those were pure romance, not really rom-coms, and they're very like escapist holiday fiction. I wasn't formally participating in NaNoWriMo because I was already on deadline with my publisher, so it felt like adding like another layer of accountability and expectation wasn't really necessary. But I did write like I was in NaNoWriMo. I was writing every single day, and I worked really hard to get the first draft of this book done in 3 months. I started writing it on the 1st of September and I finished it yesterday on the 8th of December. So about 3 months and 1 week, which is really fast for writing the first draft of a book, especially since I hadn't even had an idea for this book until like the end of July. Just to give you my word counts for the 3 months and 1 week that I was working on it, in September I wrote 37,591 words. In October I wrote 30,079 words. In November 21,104 words. And in December 19,748. Keep in mind, that is only 8 days in December, and I wrote almost as much as I did during the entirety of November. Now, I was traveling during November, so that added part of it, but I was just really on a roll right there at the end. I did a lot really, really quickly because I knew exactly how I wanted it to happen. I had set up all the dominoes and I just needed to watch them fall. It was a really different writing experience for me. I really enjoyed it. The voice felt a lot closer to my own voice and my own inner monologue. And as a result, things just kind of flowed really nicely. And I finished this book late last night. Now, my deadline isn't until the 1st of January, but I knew that I didn't want to just write the words at the end and then send it into my publisher. I wanted to give myself time to read through it, to make changes. And I feel a lot of conflicting feelings at the moment because I know that this book is not ready to ship. It has got loads of problems with it. There are threads that I need to add in. There are chapters that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to completely cut or completely rework. And importantly, it is also very over on word count at the moment. It's currently 108,522 words. Ideally, I want to be at like 90 to 95,000. So there is a lot that needs to be trimmed from this. I really need to tighten it up. I'm thinking about actually removing a couple of threads and a couple of characters to make room for the things that I need to add in, because you don't knock off 18,000 words just by trimming here and there. No, you have to cut major stuff in order to make that happen. And I think the reason that I'm feeling really conflicted about having finished it is because I know that I only have about 3 weeks until I have to submit this book, and I am bricking it. I obviously have something that I can share with my publisher, but I know it's not where I want it to be. And 3 weeks is not a lot of time to read through and then start to make significant changes. Now, I'm a very fast editor, so I do think I'll be able to get it into better shape during that time, but it's always really stressful to feel like I have this thing and I know what it could be. I know what the possibility is, and I have such high hopes for it. Do I have enough time to get it into shape? Because also, the 1st of January to the 15th of August is not a lot of time in the publishing world. That is a very tight turnaround. My editor is going to look at it. She's going to have structural edits for me. We're going to go through line edits. We're going to do a proofread. Then it needs to go through production, and all of that in time to get it in the hands of advanced readers. So when I deliver it to my editor, I want to know that it is as good as it can be so that we can make sure that we're not wasting time during the rest of that process fixing things that I knew needed to be fixed. So there's a lot of pressure on me for the next 3 weeks to try to get that done. So let's talk about how I'm gonna make that happen. And it starts with a printed copy. And what I've done is I've printed just smacked myself in the face. I have printed out all 300 Microsoft Word pages of my manuscript, and I've put it in this ring binder. I'm used to looking at it digitally, so bringing it into a physical format will help it feel different, and maybe I'll look at it differently. which should make editing easier. Additionally, I am traveling for work next week, and so I'm really excited to just take this with me. I'm not even going to take my personal laptop with me. I'm just going to take this, which granted, this is bigger than my personal laptop, but I'm going to take this with me and try to use the days that I'm away to actually read through the book in its entirety. Not taking super detailed notes, but more general structural notes. And then I can always go back through and do a more detailed read after that. And the reason I want to do that is very similar to the reason why you have different types of edits during the publishing process. You have your structural edit, then you have what's called a line edit, and then you have a proofread. And the reason why you go from big to small like that is because at the structural edit level, big story things are changing, big character things are changing. And so there's no point saying like, this paragraph is too long, or this sentence is worded weirdly, or we need to think about changing this specific detail. That happens in a line edit. That is pointless if you haven't done structural edits yet, because so much of what you're editing could change as a result of that structural edit. So it's a better use of time to do the structural edit first, make all of those changes, then when you're happy with it structurally, then do line edits. Now, I do not have enough time to do these completely separately, but I do have enough time, I hope, to go through, make notes of some big structural changes that I want to make, and then also make some line edit style notes on sections I know I don't want to change. This, of course, all could go completely to shit as I start writing, but I feel really good about the plan. It's a really tight timeline, but I'm excited to move from drafting mode into something different. I'm excited for a change of pace. I feel really almost burnt out from drafting. I went really hard there at the end, as you saw in the word count numbers, and I'm excited to start really crafting this story and bringing it to life in a more polished way. I've been very heads down focused on the drafting process, and I haven't done any writing vlogs or anything since I started, but if I'm able to, I will document as much of it as possible. I definitely am documenting more over on TikTok, so if you're not already following me there, I'll leave a link in the description because I'm posting a video of my progress there every single day. But I will try to put more here on YouTube as well, so let me know in the comments if you want to see some of those writing vlogs of this editing process, or if you have any questions about how I'm going to go about things, about the drafting process. And of course, if you're not already, be sure to hit subscribe so that you can see those writing vlogs if I'm able to make them, but I've also got some fun end of year content coming up. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.